welcome back to Diversify the Verse. It's been so long since we last saw you. Let's say hi to Alex.
Hi guys, welcome back. We're so happy to. I just finished this book, so I'm happy to talk about it with a fresh memory of it.
And I finished this book in May, so it's been a month. So this was our May read, which also turned into our June read. The Way You Make Me Feel by Maurene Goo. I think it's Goo.
I say, yeah. I
went to her signing, and I think they said Goo, but I'm not sure.
I mean, there's two O's, so I would say Goo,
Okay. Yes, this was our book, and it was kind of in honor of, was it in honor of, Asian American?
Yeah, but
Calendar month, which was, way back. It was, mid-April to mid-May.
Yeah.
We are very behind on this. But this will hopefully be a really fun discussion, and I really enjoyed the book. Like I said, I finished it back in May, so it's been a while. And yeah, I brought it on vacation with me to Mexico, which was really cool because she ended up going to Mexico. Spoiler.
Oh my God, yeah.
What?
That was so cool.
Yeah. And it's just kind of like a fun summer read. I love the whole food truck thing, and I really do like the character arcs in this book. I think Clara really learns a lot in this book, and I really liked seeing her transform. And Hamlet is adorable, and there's just a lot of little nuances of this book that I really enjoyed reading about, and I'm really happy that we have a book that kind of reflects all these nuances with kind of race and ethnicity and immigration, kind of things like that. Because with Clara, her parents are Korean, but they're from Brazil, which is really interesting, and all the multicultural aspects of this book being also set in Los Angeles, which was really cool too. Yeah, Alex, do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate that, but let me just say, this book for me was a struggle. I think it was because I dwelled too much on the fact that I didn't like her first book, and I kept telling people I didn't like her first book. I don't know if I'm gonna like this one. But so the first half of the book took me 3 weeks to read. But then once you hit a certain point in this book, I think you just start reading it, start flipping the pages, and it gets so good. I think I finished the last 200 pages. And literally when I was sitting down a few hours before this live show. But yeah, it was it's a very moving read too. You kind of learn something about yourself too, and about how you treat other people, relationships and stuff. And that was the most impactful thing to me. But yeah, overall, love the representation. I also loved the family relationship. Oh my God. So.
Yeah, I think that's something that Maurene does really well, is kind of writing these father-daughter relationships. Which I mean, I know you didn't really like her first book, but I feel the father-daughter relationship in that book was also really engaging and fun to read. And also, she kind of goes into it with this book too, which is, and the whole single parent kind of a thing too. Is yeah.
In the other book, wait, in the other book was the dad also a single parent?
Yeah, I think her mom died.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't remember that, but that's, yeah. Wow, I didn't even remember that. Yeah, I think she's really good at
So, and the whole friendship stuff. This is really a book about friendship.
Yeah.
We're kind of I feel we're out of it's been so long, and I also just got off a plane earlier today. I'm a bit tired, so we'll see how this live show goes.
We're out of practice, but yeah, I think the side characters were so huge in the story, and they just added so much. It's very rare to see side characters become kind of the main character, or when a situation where you'd be oh, I want to read a book about a side character. So I think that was an interesting thing to read about.
Yeah, and I did get to meet Maurene when she came to Minnesota on the Fierce Reads tour, which was really cool. And it was really fun to meet her and just to hear her talk. I think something that really stood out to me about her talk was that she was saying how when you are writing a diverse book and you identify as that same group, like how Maurene has Korean heritage and Clara does as well, and how like people assume that it's like autobiographical when it is not, I guess. Like it isn't necessarily like not every diverse book is necessarily autobiographical. And I think that was like a really interesting point that she brought up, because that's something I've been thinking about with my own writing. Like I started writing this new contemporary book, and they feature Chinese American characters, but I'm like not like my characters at all. So I think that's just kind of like a really interesting and eye-opening thing that she brought up, because like, you know, I guess us being a diverse book club, this is kind of really something really important to think about and to know about while you are reading diverse books, and not like always assuming that this is something that the author is they're taking parts of their own life. I mean, like every book that people write includes some parts of their own life, but it's not like an autobiographical thing. But yeah, that's kind of like a real rant there.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to add. And also just like even with, especially with diverse books, also not to assume that the experience that one group goes through is what one person from that group goes through is what the entire group goes through. Like I think that's an important thing, because people start making assumptions, and then it starts turning into like stereotypes and whatever. So yeah, that's interesting that you mentioned. And that's, oh my god, she sounds so awesome. I really want to meet her. I want to meet so many like of those badass female Asian authors, like Mary H.K. Choi. Yeah.
This was a really like feminist book, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, the last book that I read was also feminist driven, and it was so good. Like honestly, these female characters, oh my god, I freaking love reading books about female characters.
Okay. So, do you have any other non-spoilery thoughts you want to add before we announce our next book?
Nope. Let's announce our next book.
Okay, so I have it.
Yeah, I do.
I've already read it, and it's going to be The Brightsiders by Jen Wilde. It is a super fun book about a band, and I think everyone who's like one of the bigger main characters is on the LGBTQIA spectrum, which is really fun to read about. And the main character is identifies as bi, and it's just like a lot of fun. It's really gonna be like a really fun summer book. We wanted to do this for June since it was Pride Month, but since we are so late on getting to this live show, I guess it'll be for July, which isn't a problem because you should read LGBT books like year round anyways. And it's just like a lot of fun, and I hope that you enjoy it and pick it up.
Yeah, the only reason why I know about this book is because the author who wrote this one who also wrote Queens of Geek, and that one has also like a really nice hair color cover.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember, but we read The Victoria in Our Head, which is kind of like following a band as well. And I freaking love the book. I feel like I'm just drawn to books with like bands.
I was totally like in a band kick for a while there.
So like it just adds another element to the story. It adds a lot of conflict too. So yeah, I'm so excited. I'm literally so excited. But first I have to get my copy because she's expensive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can also get it from the library.
Oh yeah, I definitely am gonna borrow from the library. But then after, if I do like it, I do of course want my own copy because like it's nice.
Yeah. So yeah, this will be a really fun read, and I think there'll be some fun stuff to discuss in here. So that will be our next book. Very exciting. Okay, should we get into the spoilery discussion part?
Yeah, okay. So you can ask the first question. Everything's going to be spoiler from here on out.
Yeah, pretty much. So our first question, as always, was what are your first impressions, which we talked about earlier. So our second question, how do you think Clara's mom influences her and the decisions she makes? Yeah, I feel like her her mom is a influencer in here, which was really interesting to kind of read about. You know, both like us two are kind of like influencers on Instagram as well. And I don't know, it's kind of like interesting to read about, especially when they get like when she goes to see her mom, and then we actually get to see all these like social media influencers like doing stuff. I mean, our life is not like as glamorous as that, but I don't know, it's just kind of like fun to read about. But I think like, having her mom like out there doing all these things and like not kind of makes her, I don't know, I feel like it does impact her personality and how like she kind of gets into a lot of trouble, and she's not very feely person. Like she kind of keeps her feelings like inside and tries not to really think about them too much, and you know, trying to like, yeah, just like have fun and be in the moment kind of a thing. And I feel like her mom does have an influence in how she acts in that way. And I guess a little bit of her like recklessness, you know, not having her mom around, but also like having a dad who is really like a relaxed parent also has an influence on that. I don't know. Do you have anything you want to say to that?
Yeah, I mean, she talked a lot about her mom. It was like really weird because she talked a lot about her mom in like the beginning of the book, and then like she didn't talk about her mom for like a really large part, and then her mom like came up again in the end. But I think, yeah, like you said, her mom kind of represents this kind of like this way out, like like escaping kind of. And I think her mom's life has just shown her that like she, I guess, can do whatever she wants with her life, or that she'll always. I feel like there's something missing, like a part of Clara's life, which is also goes into why she's so like reckless, or she's like kind of like she likes to do pranks, and she just likes to like she doesn't take life seriously, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I feel like she's just missing something, and it's like a call for like I guess for attention, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it exactly like it's like she's trying to get the attention of her mom with the things that she does, but I think it's, you know, the whole thing where her mom is kind of living this fantasy life that is partially real, partially not real. And also like, so then Clara is living a life kind of like that. Like it doesn't really like feel real. Like the consequences don't feel real, and I don't know where I'm going with that. Somewhere. My brain is so dead. I'm sorry, people.
That's a huge thing that was talked about in this book. It's like feelings and like how real. It's because she doesn't like experiencing anything real. If that makes sense. She doesn't like coming up to things that will like make her emotional or will feel real to her. She just likes having fun, and she wants to like live her life like YOLO. But yeah, that's how Clara is, and I think most of that is influenced by her mom. So that's why this whole story is kind of her realizing how, you know, things are hard, but like they're worth experiencing, they're worth feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So next question.
Okay, I got it. So why do you think Clara is so insistent that she's not interested in Hamlet? Okay, when I read this question, I was just like, wait, she was insistent? I think that was when Rose, I remember it as like when Rose started like having a little crush on him. Like she thought he was really cute, and she kept like flirting with him, and then what's her name? Clara was just like, oh my god, this guy. And then whenever he would like look at her for too long, she would be like, why is he looking at me like that? And I think that's just because Rose kind of liked him, so she's like,
well, I am not. The thing was like Rose knew that Hamlet liked Clara, so Rose was just kind of like being a friend with him, and then Rose was trying to like get Clara to go out with him.
But like I think it's because like Clara was like, I can't possibly be liking the same things as Rose. She's just like, what? I know that's so out there, but I honestly didn't think she was so insistent on not liking him. I think that was like a really small part. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, like thinking back, you know, she's always saying like how weird he is, I guess, and how he's like super like energetic and all that. And she like the one time where Rose, like when he was like showing Rose how to like punch because he was like doing boxing or whatever. And then like they're trying to get Clara to come over, and she's like, "No, it's weird." Or like when he brings over coffee for them the first time, and he's like, and she's like, "This is weird," or whatever, and how she, I guess, didn't really want, like, she was like really debating like whether she wanted to go out with him. And even like when Rose said like, "Oh, he likes you," and she's like, "No, I don't want to go out with him because he's like so unlike me." Because Hamlet really is like unlike Clara at this point, and her friends, like her friend was like Felix and the other person.
Oh yeah,
who they was like hanging around and pulling pranks and just kind of doing fun stuff and getting into trouble or whatever.
Yeah, and also I feel like the idea of a relationship also really scared her, or her like starting anything that. Yeah, but oh my god, let me tell you, there were some cringe moments in this book, but eventually you make it through and you get to the juicy stuff. Yeah, that boxing thing was kind of cringe. It was just like, what the heck? Yeah, and I thought it was pretty weird, but it's okay.
You know, my favorite thing is like when they do go out and Hamlet's like, "I made 3 reservations because I didn't want to assume you were gonna go to the restaurant that I wanted." So I was like, yeah.
And he was, honestly, he's one of like, I'm pretty sure he's one of the best like love interests I've read in a while. Usually you just read about like swoony, like broody characters, but this guy, he's like such a softie. He's like he's so caring about her, and he's like very like kind of like he just wants to like protect her, and he loves her so much, and it's so cute. It's really like precious.
And he like takes her to meet his grandparents too on the first date. That was like adorable. Okay. Next question.
Yes.
Next question. How does getting to know Rose and Hamlet impact Clara? I think, well, I mean, like the whole point of her arc is like her kind of opening up to people and opening up to the idea of feeling emotions and like taking a risk with that and like actually making real connections that are really like personal and relationships with people. And I feel like it really opens her up, and also I feel like it makes her really live life to the fullest. And I think they're like a good influence on her, like, you know, keeping her out of trouble and like doing dumb things, and, you know, helping her be a more responsible person and growing up. I mean, isn't she going into her senior year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of about time you grow up, girl.
Wait, she is going into her senior year?
It's like summer.
The only thing I remember is they said she was 16, and I'm like, she's 16? I don't, okay, for me, I thought it was a little like, she's 16, but she went on a, I know people are already going on flights alone, but like, just for me in general, that kind of scared me. I'm like, damn, I wouldn't be going on a flight to Mexico if I was 16. But yeah.
Well, so she did prom, right? She went to prom, so then that would have been like junior prom. And
yeah. Oh, okay, I understand. Okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah. So
she just had a late birthday or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think like, yeah, getting to know them have made a really positive impact on Clara and help her be a better person and like kind of be more mature and kind of take more responsibility for life. And I think she really genuinely enjoys being with them more than she did with her old friends. Like you see her choosing to text Rose and like hang out with Rose more than she would with her other friends or with Hamlet. And so yeah, do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, so I just, there was like a quote that I like. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Like, they really opened her up, and that's what, I think that's the whole thing. Like, she was, because of her mom, she was scared to like put her heart into something because she would be scared about if she would be disappointed or feeling everything. But yeah, she says, as I stood there surrounded by 3 people who had the ability to do just that, crack my chest open to all the disappointment and difficulty and grief, I knew I still wanted it. Yeah, so they've been able to crack her open. But yeah, I think especially Rose's, I distinctly remember the point where she started accepting Rose, and that was, do you remember that point when her Rose's parents came to the food truck?
Yeah.
That was when Clara was kind of like, okay, so maybe Rose isn't so bad, and that's after that they started like building a friendship. And yeah, out of all the relationships, I really liked their relationship. Well, of course, I liked her and Hamlet's relationship, but their relationship was built off of something that was so like already they were like basically enemies, and how they turned that into like a friendship was like just really nice to see.
I actually want to see a lot more of Rose. I feel like it would have been interesting to kind of like learn more about her life, and even to get a book about her. I think it'd be really cool.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, especially like during senior year, I feel like that would be like a really good book because you get like her preparing for college and all that stuff that she's involved with, and you see like more of Clara and probably Hamlet because they're all friends. And I also really like how Rose is like her first real big female friendship.
Yeah,
that is like something like really important that you like see a good female friendship in this book. Even like they start out as enemies, but you know, a really positive and like healthy relationship. And you know, it is important to have female friends and be able to, I don't know, kind of like have that relationship. And she doesn't have a, you know, a really big, like, as much as she does have a relationship with her mom, it's not like super close. And so I feel like having another girl around that she's super like really good friends with, and it's going to be really good for her.
No, yeah, and another thing that I also really loved Rose. In the beginning, I just hated all the characters, but in Rose also reveals that she has anxiety, and then she goes into like how she keeps worrying about things, and like she's like she can't like focus on one thing. But then I think also Clara helps her with her anxiety because like their relationship, she's kind of the one to tell her like harshly like this and that, and like to help her make decisions. And it's just like a really nice, caring relationship, very nice friendship, like kind of like your dream friendship. Like, oh my god, these 2 girls could rule the world. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that also with like Hamlet, I mean, not just like impacting Clara, but I think something that was really great about Hamlet's character in general is that he is actually from China, and that he moves there to America when he was small, and he just like continues going to school there while his parents moved back to China, and he lives with these grandparents who aren't actually his grandparents but are family friends. And like they have been like his grandmother has been in America for like she was born there, and like her family's been there. So I think it made a really important point. Like we were talking about like multiculturalism and like all these nuances to like being a person of color, and like, you know, having it in the book, like showing that there have been like Asian American families that have been here for generations. And I feel like that's like really important, that it's like something that we kind of forget sometimes, but you know, there have been people here for like multiple generations, and you don't really get to see that as much. And I feel like it's really great that she was showing that in this book. And yeah, I thought they were super cute. His grandparents are adorable.
I know, and I loved how they also like just weren't like your typical grandparents. Like they kind of added like some like they were kind of like spunky, you know, like talking to Clara like back and forth. It was just really fun to see. And
his grandfather loves playing video games.
I know, it was very Americanized. I'm like, oh my god, these grandparents are so hip and so cool. But yeah, I like what you said. Definitely, this book is like filled with a lot of like different like cultural aspects and just a lot of representation, which of course like when we're picking books for like to talk about on this. You don't really like expect it. Like you just obviously choose books that are like diverse, but then you get like, but then when you read the book, you actually find out that there's a lot more to it, and it's like really nice. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question.
You.
What? You're asking it.
Oh yeah. Okay. How do you think seeing her mom changes Claire's perspective on her life? So we see this when she goes to Mexico to see her. And oh my God, when you find out that it was an event and it wasn't like a planned vacation, that hit me really hard.
Yeah.
And the fact that like the dad knew too, like I didn't like it was kind of heartbreaking because you're like, I mean, I feel like Claire didn't see it, and I feel like when she went to Mexico, she realized that it's not the life that it looks like, and I think that also plays a lot into like social media and how like it may look perfect online, but it's actually not like sunshine and rainbows. And she finds out when she's like spending time with her mom, she doesn't get her mom 100% to herself, and it's more like her mom had to make time for her instead of like the other way around. Like she should like, you know, already dedicate some time. But how does it impact her? Obviously, she realizes the value in having these complicated relationships, and yeah, and she gets like a hit or a smack of reality, you know?
Yeah. And I think, you know, a really big part of that like whole scene was like when she discovered all those emails from her mom and her dad, because like when she left LA because her dad was really upset with her, and she was really upset with her dad, and so she was really like she was trying to escape. And I feel like that was also a really big point of it, like how she originally she wanted to escape, so she left for Mexico, and then she realizes that this wasn't the life that she left behind was the one that she really wanted. Yeah. And I feel like, you know, seeing her mom makes her realize that, and like seeing those emails where she thought her mom always like, because of her dad was sending her mom emails about like, you know, things about birthdays and reminders and, you know, what Clara wanted for gifts for like birthdays or Christmas or things like that, and how I guess it made her more grateful, I think, for her dad, and, you know, trying to see things through his perspective as he's like raising her on her own. And, you know, sometimes she gets really upset with him. In this book, there are multiple times that happens, but I think that that makes her, you know, like realize what she has, and, you know, makes her a bit more grateful for her life and her friends and her having her dad, who was both her mom and her dad. And he's like, her dad is just so adorable. Yeah. And he loves her so much. And I was like tearing up when she was reading those emails.
Yes, that was a huge turning point. And I think she realizes also how much credit that her mom has been getting for like things that her dad has been doing. And another like huge thing that also kind of pissed me off too, like when her mom was like saying those speeches and she was like, help raising my daughter, and then Clara was like, girl, you didn't help.
Oh, like in the interview?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was, for me, I was obviously like very kind of like, I hate when like people do that, and like especially since it's her own mom and her mom doesn't even realize like how much she isn't part of Clara's life and how much the dad has been doing, because she has read the emails, you know, like her mom, she has received those emails and she's realizing that she's like, she's just not realizing how much she's taking credit of, like, you know, the dad. Yeah, and she like claims to like, oh, like my fabulous daughter, look how like I've helped in like raising her.
But I mean, like when she's leaving, her mom does, you know, kind of know that she like, it wasn't really like her fit out to be a mom.
Yeah.
Have that kind of a role in her life. Just, I don't know. It was kind of like nice to have that honest moment between the two.
Yeah, I would say it's a very different relationship from what you normally read about, and like, because sometimes like I'm very used to like when obviously the mom like in obviously the other novel when the mom wasn't there at all, but this one it was kind of cool to see how like she had an impact on her life and how that kind of relationship changes things. And how her, of course, her job affects her life as well. Yeah, I would like a whole book about her mom too, and her dad.
Oh, it'd be cute to have one when they just like first met.
Yeah. Oh my god, that'd be.
It would be like so dramatic, though. Let's be honest.
It would. It'd be like high school, like really fast and like high school romance, and then when Clara, yeah. But it'd be interesting. It'd be really interesting, especially since they would be living in Brazil.
I think they met in the U.S.
I know, but like you could see their separate lives. Like if we're reading about their own perspectives, they would be. And because I think the mom said she grew up in Brazil.
Yeah, they both grew up in Brazil, and I think they both moved to America. And then her mom did not like it there, so she moved away.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see and just read about.
Yeah. Okay, next question.
Yes.
How do the family dynamics of Clara, Rose, and Hamlet impact their character and who they are? We've been kind of like talking about this question with Clara, so I'm just gonna talk about Rose and Hamlet. I mean, we talked a little bit about like Hamlet, but I think with Rose, like her parents are really successful people. And she's also African American, and I feel like that definitely like has an impact on her life. And like her mom was a super successful lawyer who is slightly like a celebrity. And I think that like that adds on the pressure of her to be like always like perfect and always be the best and impact their character and who they are. Yes. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I really wish we got, like, in the beginning, obviously, I didn't like Rose, but, like, I think we should have, I don't know, at least I wanted to know more about Rose, because especially what we said about how she's African-American and how that adds pressure to her, and maybe that's why she's so anxious to be, like, striving to be perfect and make her life really good, or, like, strive for the best, because, like you said, her mom, and her entire family is kind of, like, counting on her, like, it's just a lot of pressure on her. And for Hamlet, I feel like, why am I blanking out? Yeah, so his parents are away. They're not like a part of his. And oh my god, that sad moment when he was like, they gave me this car to make up for like, they gave him the car to like for like obviously to make up for they haven't been there in his life. And they're pretty successful too, right? Wasn't he like?
Yeah, his parents are like really rich.
Yeah.
They own that water park.
Oh, the water park scene was insane.
Oh my gosh, her friends were so stupid. I wanted to punch them.
Like actually though, like I didn't want to say it because I don't like. I thought we were gonna be like we weren't gonna mention it all, but like her friends were kind of just like, and Cynthia. Oh my god. They're
the worst. I mean, I'm like kind of glad she's gonna move on from them because
is she gonna move on from them?
They were very much enablers of a not very mature Clara.
Yeah. No, definitely. They represent her past, but yeah, I definitely that part like pissed me off so much, especially because now because especially remember Felix is like suing.
Yeah, his parents are trying to sue Hamlet.
Like, I'm just like, okay, all right, good luck with that.
Yeah, that was annoying. But I mean, I think I don't know. I just feel like Hamlet's whole family dynamic is really interesting because I do know that for some people this is their life, and they'll go to a different country to go to school and all that stuff. And they'll stay with, relatives or family friends. And I think that was like kind of really interesting that she brought that perspective. And then also just like the whole thing with growing up with grandparents as your parents and growing up with grandparents who like have been living in America for a very long time or were born there. And I think that kind of I don't know. It's just like really interesting to see, and I feel like they do like impact his life and his character and who he is. And maybe just like because they're so loving and open and caring and just like fun to be around. And I feel like Hamlet definitely like fits into their little family like that.
Yeah, I think even without his parents, he's been able to grow up, and his upbringing has been it's been really good because of it, and he's really lucky to have them, especially be so loving and caring because, I mean, they're not like immediate family, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that, like I said, the family relationships. She's really good at writing that. Like that's something that I can't deny, even though I didn't like her first. But like she's like it was really good.
Yeah.
I'm admitting. Okay, and then oh my god,
Question.
Like,
I couldn't think of any other questions, so here we go.
It's a
I don't
big
even have the answer to this.
Okay, what's your favorite food truck food? Okay, well, so in my school, there is this. In my school, we have a campus in high schools. Well, I already graduated. Who cares? But we have a campus where we have food trucks come like regularly to our school because, of course, they can make a lot of money. There's this one food truck called Jay's, and whatever you want, he will cook. So that's my favorite food truck. I know him and he knows my face. He'll give you if you don't have money or you're like short $1 or $2, he'll say, no, take it. I'll put it on your tab. Like kind of that winky thing where he's like, I'll remember it, but I won't remember it. Like he's gonna like remember you owe him, but he's not gonna like next time you come, he's gonna like hunt you down and be like, bro, you owe me $1. So I love him, and that's like the one thing I'm gonna miss from my high school. Jay's food truck.
So what is your normal order?
My normal order is chocolate chip pancakes. I get that for lunch. I always get that for lunch. But I also get grilled cheese with bacon and tomatoes. Oh my god. So good. Okay. What about you?
So me, I mean, food trucks are they're getting more popular here in Minnesota, especially like if you're in Minneapolis or I guess St. Paul. Well, where they'll have food trucks around or like events where they'll have food trucks, but I don't really like buying food.
Buying food?
I don't like buying food. Or really like food truck food. So I guess I don't really have a favorite. But the last time I had a food truck food, it was my college had like a night where like a student campus night celebration, cheer on the school kind of a thing, where they brought in like a singer and had a concert, and then they had food trucks there, and I got crepes.
Ooh, I've never had crepes. We know
Yeah.
I feel like food trucks are so creative, and also in New York, I feel like we have the weirdest food trucks. Like,
Yeah.
Well, it's not weird, but we had like just very creative. We had an empanada food truck in the city.
Mhm.
That was really good. They've done multiple yogurt food trucks. And I guess it's not weird, but like you just don't think you think of food trucks as like fast food stuff. You don't think of like fruits and like yogurt. It's not. I guess that's ice cream, but yeah, it's just it's also it's a very cool experience. Like, oh my god, do they have like I want like there to be like a festival of food trucks so you could just go around and just try different food truck foods.
Yeah, I think they have one this summer, like coming up, something like that. But also, like in Minnesota, we have the state fair.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for that.
Food truck food everywhere, I guess. It's like state fair food, which everything is like fried and on a stick. Yeah. That's the whole big theme here.
Wait, when is that?
At the end of August.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be there. Well, it has to be a certain date because is it just one day?
No, it's like 12 days or something.
Thank
up
God.
Until Labor Day.
Yeah, thank God, because then I will be there. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what my favorite food truck food is. I guess I have to eat more food truck food. But I do like, how people are being like super inventive and creative with food truck food, especially like in this book where they have Brazilian Korean, and I'm like, I really want to try this. At the same time,
I'm honestly very surprised that they didn't win the contest. Like, how could you get more creative than that? And it's called Cobra. Like, I just can't. Like, who won again? That like tamale thing?
I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah, but they did like get some investor who was interested.
That's true, and I really would like there to be a part 2 to this book and this restaurant to come about. and Rose needs to find a guy. No, she doesn't need to find it. She doesn't need to find a guy, or like she doesn't need anyone. Like she's perfectly fine her own. But I just think that would be so cool to see how like another person clashes, just is like in a relationship. I think that's so cool.
It would be fun to have like a hate to love relationship for Rose.
Like
another one.
Oh my god, not another one. She's been through so much with Clara, honestly. That was insane, okay, the beginning.
Yeah, that whole prom Carrie scene, which
we have pranks in my school, and I thought my pranks, like someone released a bunch of chickens in the school.
That's intense.
And they labeled them 1, 2, 4, and the whole like everyone's looking for 3, but there was no 3. But like that, no, I think the blood thing was more intense. Like
that was creepy. Yeah. And then they started a fire. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was like full blown Carrie, and I was just like, shit, this is insane. But yeah, the pranks. I when I first read the synopsis and it mentioned pranks, I got this like feeling that this book was going to be an entire like prank book, and like it was going to be centered around pranks, but it wasn't. Thank God. It was much more complex than that.
Yeah. Oh, we have reached the end of our questions.
Yeah, that's.
Anything else you wanted to talk about?
I guess, I don't know. I love this cover. I actually, now that I've really appreciated this book, I mean, I think the first one was just a miss with me, but I'm really excited to see what else she has to write. I really hope it's another Asian representation or any type of diverse book, but I particularly like how, especially she writes so much about like Asian representation in her books. Mm-hmm. Also, like, I feel like everyone just associates Maurene Goo with like kind of like the beautiful like Asian girls on the covers. Like because we don't have much of those, so like just having these covers out there and how they're so beautiful to look at. Yeah, like, yeah, I'm really excited. Can't wait to see what her next book is.
I think it's called. Was it Somewhere Only We Know? Is that what the song's called? They're like all after song titles, and I'm like, I saw she posted it on her story, and I was like, I'm so excited. I don't even know what it's about, but I'm already excited.
Oh my god, that makes sense. What was her first one called?
What?
What was her first book called?
I Believe in a Thing Called Love.
Yeah, and The Way You Make Me Feel is this. It's a song. Everyone's asking me. They're like, "Are you talking about the Janelle Monáe song?" I'm like, no. It's yeah.
I think her books are all off of song titles. Like Somewhere Only We Know. I think is that what it's called?
I mean, I didn't know. I don't really follow along with the news because I didn't really think that I'd be obsessed with her, but I am obsessed with her now. Like I'm so.
Well, I mean, I really like the song, but I just can't remember what the title is. It's something like that. But yeah.
Someone should make a playlist. Wait, is there? Someone should make a playlist. Oh my god, you can like see more of her in the back, but like it's really faded.
Wow, I didn't notice that.
I know. Oh my god, it's so cool.
On the side too.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Can't escape her. Yeah, that's cute. I gotta do a recreate the cover thing.
Oh, I want to do I want to do recreate the cover for the Brightsiders.
Yeah. I like been practicing my hand thing.
Oh, I did it once, but I think I deleted it from my Insta because it looks so stupid. I was doing this.
I have long hair too, so your hair is like short and you have bangs.
Yeah. But I was doing some Star Trek. It was like really embarrassing. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do the Brightsiders one because I have a purple wig like that with bangs, and I just need to cut it, and then I just get a purple lip sync, and I look super cute.
So, yeah. So that's like about the end of our discussion. It's like a short one this time. I hope you enjoyed it. I know we're out of practice, so
yeah, it's a little late. It's also a little
bear with us for it. But this is gonna be our next book, The Brightsiders, and I'm so excited to talk about it with everyone. I think I'll probably have to reread this, and it's just like a lot of fun. I think
it sounds like a lot of fun too.
Yeah, and that's all we have for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna say bye now. Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time. Hopefully, it won't be like in 2 months. Hopefully, it'll be in like 1 month.
I promise. I swear.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, guys.